உங்களுக்கு கடமையும் உலகில் பெரிது. தர்மம் காத்தலே கடமை. தர்மம் காக்காதார்க்கு உயிர் வாழும் உரிமை இல்லை. நன்றாய் புரிந்து கொள்ளுங்கள். உத்தமோத்தம பிறவியான சனாதன ஹிந்து தர்ம பிறவி எடுத்த எல்லோரும் புரிந்து கொள்ளுங்கள். உங்கள் வாழ்வின் முதற்கடமை தர்மம் காத்தல். தர்மம் காக்க தர்மம் உங்களை காக்கும். சனாதன ஹிந்து தர்மம் காக்க மறந்திட்டால் வாழும் உரிமையை நீங்கள் இழந்து விடுகின்றீர்கள். அதற்கு மேல் வாழ்ந்தென்ன அழிந்தென்ன? பூமிக்கு பாரம் குறையட்டும் என்று அசுரர்களும் ராட்சதர்களும் உங்களை உண்டு தீர்க்கின்றார்கள். அதையும் மாயை கண்டு சும்மாவிருப்பாள். பிரபஞ்ச ரகசியத்தை, பிறவியின் ரகசியத்தை உலகிற்கெல்லாம் உத்தரமாய்ச் சொல்லிவிட்டேன். புரிந்து வாழ்வில் நடந்து உயிரை பத்திரமாய் பார்த்துக் கொள்ளுங்கள். அன்னை சொல்லும் அருள் சத்தியம் இது. ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
Let us look at Devi Parashakti's revelations mapped into English. Listen, Andajam, Yonijam, Jalajam, Bijam, like this in 4 types of births in 84 lakh yonis. And all these births, the most of them all is human birth. Even in that human birth, being born and toiled many times, after getting burnt and toiled in politics and finance, in luxuries, dharma, artha, kama. And those who decide of not wanting this birth, wanting only moksha, only those will have the Hindu Dharma Yonijam, the Sanatana Hindu Dharma Yonijam of being born to Hindu parents. Human birth is Uttamam, the best. And Sanatana Hindu Dharma human birth is Uttamottamam, the best of the best. Everyone who took this Uttamottama birth has the responsibility of protecting the science of living enlightenment and Sanatana Dharma. And also they have the right of experiencing its benefits. This right was given to them because of their commitment given by them to do this responsibility. After coming to Bhuloka, by getting mentally deluded and forgetting the Dharma of protecting Sanatana Dharma, Maya, she is taking away all their souls. Understand carefully, I am giving the Sanatana Hindu Dharma Yonijam only for those who gave the commitment of protecting Sanatana Dharma, even by giving their life. After getting the body, because of painful deluge, not dropping fear and greed, for those who forgot to protect Sanatana Hindu Dharma, Maya, she will immediately add them all to the list of those who are not worthy of living. Therefore, Rakshasas and Asuras are automatically taking away their life. Understand properly, for those who stand that even by giving their life, they will protect Dharma, will permanently have Virasvarga and Kailasa Padavi. For any reason, people who forgot to protect Dharma, having the Uttamottama birth of Sanatana Hindu birth, there is no other way for them. Sanatana Hindu Dharma human birth is Uttamottama human birth. Your rights in this world are immense. Also, your responsibility in this world is large. Protecting Dharma is responsibility. Those who do not protect Dharma, they do not have the right to live. Understand properly, all those who took the Uttamottama birth, which is Sanatana Hindu birth, all of you understand. The first responsibility of your life is protecting Dharma. If you protect Dharma, Dharma will protect you. If you forget to protect Sanatana Hindu Dharma, you lose the right of living. After that, what bothers whether you live or get destroyed? Asuras and Rakshasas will eat you, so that the burden on earth is reduced. Seeing that Maya, she will keep quiet. So now let us understand what is the responsibility of Hindus as revealed by Devi Parashakti. Hinduism represents the world's most ancient yet progressive indigenous spiritual tradition. It is an open framework model of civilization that stands for global peace, vegetarianism, non-violence, yoga, worship of nature, temple-based living, manifesting spiritual powers, and the inherent divinity of every being. The Hindu nations were ecosystems where more and more enlightened beings could be produced, so that enlightened civilization could be kept alive and its great gifts shared with the world. So now let us look at some of the references from Hindu nations from our Hindu scriptures. One of the most famous Hindu nations was the Ramaraja, the Hindu nation ruled by Bhagavan Rama, and it was described in the Valmiki Ramayana. There were no widows to lament, nor there was any danger from wild animals, nor any fear born of diseases. The world was bereft of thieves and robberies. No one felt worthless, nor did old people perform obsequies concerning youngsters. Every creature felt pleased. Everyone was intent on virtue, turning their eyes towards Rama alone. Creatures did not kill one another. And the description continues on. People survived for thousands of years with thousands of their progeny, all free of illness and grief. The trees were bearing flowers and fruits regularly without any injury by pests and insects. The clouds were raining in time, and the wind was delightful to the touch. Every caste was performing their own duties, satisfied with their own work and bereft of any greed. People were intent on virtue and lived without telling lies. All people were endowed with excellent characteristics. All were true. And another famous Hindu kingdom was the Hastinapur kingdom, ruled by Yudhishthira, and it was described in the Srimad Mahabharata. Devas granted rains to fulfill all wants. The world became free of all diseases. There was no hunger or thirst anywhere. There was no mental suffering. Those without livelihood were given livelihood. There was abundance all around. There were no worldly worries left for anyone, and there was no cause for fear either. Happiness on earth was in fact greater than even in the heavens. And the Hindu nations had so much to contribute to the world in every field, in the field of enlightenment, health, medicine, art, science, technology, aviation, dance and music, clothes and jewelry, social systems, judicial systems, political systems, legal systems. In every field, Hinduism gave a breakthrough. So now let us understand how exactly our Hindu nations were destroyed over the course of 1,000 years. We faced a three-phase attack. Let us look at each of these attacks. The first phase of the destruction of the Hindu civilization were the Islamic invasions between 800 and 1700 AD. This was the physical destruction of the Hindu civilization, and Will Durant, a famous historian, has described the Mohammedan conquest of India is probably the bloodiest story in history. The Islamic and scholars have recorded with great glee and pride these slaughters of Hindus, forced conversions, abduction of Hindu women and children to slave markets, and the destruction of temples that were carried out by the warriors of Islam during 800 to 1700 AD. Millions of Hindus were converted to Islam by sword during this period, and millions more were raped and murdered and dismembered. And the Islamic law prescribed for Hindus, as conveyed by Khilji, is described that Hindus are like mud. If silver is demanded from them, they must with greatest humility offer gold. If a Mohammedan desires to spit into a Hindu's mouth, the Hindu should open it wide for that purpose. God created Hindus to be slaves for the Mohammedans. The Prophet hath ordained that if the Hindus do not accept Islam, they should be imprisoned, tortured, and finally put to death, and their property confiscated. To keep Hindus in abasement is especially a religious duty because they are the most inveterate enemies of the Prophet. So you can see how barbaric the Islamic invasions were. And because of these Islamic invasions, you'll see how many Hindus were killed during this time. Over 200 million Hindus were slaughtered by the Muslim invaders. Over 100,000 temples were destroyed, and over 1 million deities and sculptures were destroyed. And it's described, the conquering armies burnt villages, devastated the land, plundered people's wealth, took Brahmins and children and women of all classes captive, flogged them with thongs of rawhide, carried a moving prison with them, and converted the prisoners to obsequious Turks. The next phase of the destruction of the Hindu civilization came with the British occupation. This was between 1700 and 1947 AD. This was the economic and psychological destruction of the Hindu civilization. Again, Will Durant has described that I have seen a great people starving to death before my eyes. I am convinced that this exhaustion and starvation are due not, as their beneficiaries claim, to overpopulation and superstition, but to the most sordid and criminal exploitation of one nation by another in all recorded history. Here you can see the photos of children who were victims of the artificial famines imposed by the British. And the British occupation, during the British occupation, the British Empire used all possible means to destroy Hindu and civil cultural institutions in order to delegitimize and demoralize the indigenous people of India so that they would become slaves in their own homeland. This included discriminatory laws to instill feelings of racial inferiority, engineering artificial famines to starve the natives into submission, annexing Hindu kingdoms to undermine the native rule, mistranslating Hindu scriptures to instill anti-Hindu narratives, destroying the indigenous Gurukul education system, which was the backbone of the Hindu civilization, and destroying the local industries, enforcing importation of British goods, and also banning Indians from owning or producing firearms. And during the British occupation, over $45 trillion was looted from India over the course of 200 years, and 45 million Hindus were put to death due to artificial famines and imposed poverty. 180 native kingdoms were usurped by the British Raj. Sashi Tharoor of the Indian Parliament has described that the British came to one of the richest countries of the world, and over 200 years of exploitation, looting, and destruction reduced it to a poster child of third world poverty. Next phase of the destruction of the Hindu civilization came with the secularization of India after the independence of India from the British occupation between 1947 and current day. And this has been ruled by brown faces, British attitudes, and policies towards Hindus. And Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, has described what a disgusting, savage people we are. Politics, progress, socialism, communism, science. Where are they before this black religious savagery? India can never be a Hindu republic. And B.R. Ambedkar, the first law minister and principal architect of the Indian Constitution, has described, if Hindu Raj does become a fact, it will no doubt be the greatest calamity for this country. No matter what the Hindus say, Hinduism is a menace to liberty, equality, and fraternity. It is incompatible with democracy. Hindu Raj must be prevented at any cost. These were two of the nation's first leaders, and yet they had a very clear anti-Hindu narrative. And the modern Indian legal system, academia, and media all systematically also undermine, suppress, and delegitimize the Hindu institutions and culture. The Indian Constitution has established government control and taxation over Hindu temples, while other temples, schools, and other institutions, while other religions are free from this interference. And Articles 26 through 30 of the Indian Constitution discriminates against Hindus by giving special rights and benefits to non-Hindus. This includes government benefits and scholarships. And Hindu kingdoms and self-governance has also been abolished after the secularization of India. And anti-superstition laws have been passed to criminalize Hindu practices and rituals, and mainstream Indian academia describes Hindus as sexist, racist, backwards, and oppressors, and negative media portrayals do the same, and both in Bollywood and in TV. And media narratives have been used to stereotype and demoralize Hindus. Bollywood and other mainstream media outlets consistently portray Hindu gods and gurus as cartoonish, dishonest, corrupt sex fiends, and in a manner that is similar to the British imperial propaganda. Media narratives are used to shape human consciousness and further political agenda. The racist British colonial stereotypes portraying Hindus as superstitious, backwards, dishonest, corrupt, are perpetuated by their British brown successors in modern-day India, completely unabated. Here you can see some of the examples of how Hindus, Hindu gurus, and Hindu gods are in Indian media. So now let us look at the revival of the Hindu nations. The vision that the Supreme Concept of Hinduism has given for the Hindu civilization described during the time of the Mahabharata, we, the Hindu nation, is for reviving this whole life of enlightened civilization and all the great things it has to offer to the world. This is, of course, as Devi revealed, the responsibility of Hindus to protect the science of enlightenment and Sanatana Hindu Dharma, bringing legitimacy to all the offerings Sanatana Hindu Dharma has and sharing it with the whole world is the purpose of this Kailasa, the Hindu nation. Kailasa is a revival of the cosmic constitution. Kailasa is the model nation of how enlightened civilization should be living and administered. Politics, judiciary, education, economy, everything will be revived as Paramashivoham revealed in the Vedagamas, the Sanatana Hindu Dharma scriptures. Being one of the most persecuted civilizations, Hinduism is on the brink of extinction, such that the next generation may know about Hinduism only through our history books. So what can we do to stand up for Hindu civilization and all that it has offered to the world? What can we do to fulfill the responsibility that we have taken as Hindus, that we have given a commitment to, but when we were given this Hindu birth? Today, Hinduism is a political orphan. The preservation and restoration of Hinduism's spiritual and cultural heritage is impossible without a national identity. So what can we do to save Hinduism? As Devi revealed, after being given this Uttamottama birth of Sanatana Hindu birth, we have forgotten the responsibility that we have taken due to Maya, due to delusion. So now it is our responsibility to reclaim our Hindu identity. You need to understand that Hinduism is responsible for our successful lives. If we are Hindus and we are healthy, wealthy, rich, successful, peaceful, happy, respectable, have a stable family life, have the best mental setup, it is Hinduism that is responsible. It is the Hindu identity that is responsible for this. It is our Hindu scriptures that are responsible for this. It is the Hindu scriptures which have given us the best mental setup. All the best things that we Hindus have are due to our Hindu scriptures. And Hindus are among the richest and most successful ethnic communities in the world. Our Hindu scriptures, our Hindu lifestyle, our enlightened masters are responsible for this. Hindu thought currents are responsible for this. And here's just one example of how successful Hindus are across the globe. In the Hindustan Times, it was reported that Hindus are the most educated religious group in the US, according to Pew study reports. So now it is time to reclaim our Hindu identity. It is not just the anti-Hindu elements being active. It is the responsible Hindus being inactive that is responsible for this whole destruction of Hinduism. Let us now take the responsibility for Hinduism and let all the Hindus all over the world reclaim our Hindu identity. As Devi revealed, it is our responsibility as Hindus, those who have been given the Uttamottama birth of Hindu birth, to protect Hinduism, to protect the science of living enlightenment. Let us look at more about the responsibility of Hindus. It is the responsibility of Hindus to revive this enlightened civilization again and again and give all the gifts of the enlightened civilization for humanity. That is why we were given this Uttamottama birth of Hindu birth. The revival of the enlightened civilization, the Kailasa, the Hindu nation, is the survival need of humanity. So this is an invitation to all the Hindus out there, those who are born Hindus, practicing Hindus, those who are sympathetic towards Hinduism, those who are curious about Hinduism, those who want to explore and enjoy Hinduism. Please come and be a part of the revival. You can sign up today to be a member of Kailasa, an e-citizen of Kailasa, by visiting kailasa.org and signing up to be an e-Kailashian. You can avail all the benefits that Hinduism has offered to the world and share it with the world by becoming an e-Kailashian. So now let us listen to what the Supreme Concept of Hinduism himself has revealed as the need for Kailasa, the only Hindu nation.
Contribution. Hinduism, Veda Agamas have great things to contribute to the world. Like the great power manifestation science, the ancient culture and arts, the ancient lifestyle truths, the ancient medical practices and medicinal knowledge, the ancient indigenous cultural heritage and jewelry, perfume, dance, music. In every level, Hinduism has so much to contribute. Veda Agamic traditions have so much to contribute. To share all this with the world, to contribute to the world. Hindus need to tell the world what they are contributing in every level. The brand of Hinduism itself is enriching and empowering and enlightening. Hinduism is all about enlightening the world. Empowering, enlightening, enriching the world. Contributing. That is our spiritual life. That is our spiritual strength. That is our spiritual core principle. O humanity, I request you with folded hands, some one corner of the world, if you just give me few hundred acres, I will keep this whole science alive. Leave it for the whole humanity freely. Fortunately, Paramashiva has given me the power to decode all this Hindu medicinal system, Hindu judiciary system, Hindu social law and order system, Hindu power manifestation system, Hindu mental sciences system, Hindu yogic sciences, the sciences of Hindu biology, Hindu physics, Hindu psychology, Hindu physiology, Hindu chemistry, all this Paramashiva has given me the power to decode. Whatever the remaining scriptures are available with the humanity, Paramashiva has blessed me, and I have collected, not only I have collected and organized, I can decode. This whole science can be kept alive in any one corner of the world. Just few hundred acres are given for me to live peacefully and exist peacefully. I can store this whole thing alive and contribute it to humanity. Humanity can become better and better and better. I can make the planet Earth so much better place to live. I am here to contribute. and I will continue to contribute as long as I am allowed to live. I will contribute. I have collected all the remaining available scriptures, maybe 2 crore books. 2 crore means 20 million, I think, books on Hindu physics, Hindu chemistry, Hindu biology, Hindu physiology, Hindu psychology, Hindu law and order, Hindu social system, the power manifestation sciences of Hinduism, yogic sciences of Hinduism. I have collected, and Paramashiva has given me the blessings and power to decode. I have decoded and continuing to decode them. If the humanity, somebody is kind enough to give me few hundred acres in one corner of the world and let me live peacefully, I can keep all the scriptures there and go on sharing with the world, revealing these whole sciences to the world, and go on contributing. I don't need anything other than one cup of curd rice every day. That's all. A cup of curd rice per day over. I can go on be giving this to the world. I can add to the world. I can make the world better place to live. That's all I have to say. Thousands of medicines are described detail in ancient Siddha and Ayurvedic scriptures. Paramashiva has given me the power to decode them, read them, and properly translate and map them to the modern day human language. And I am ready to work 20 hours a day. I just need few hundred acres where I can sit peacefully and keep this library, run a Gurukul where thousands of people can learn this and share it with the world. Understand? I am only interested in contributing. If we can decode all this great knowledge, whole world can prosper from this knowledge. Whole world can enjoy from this knowledge. If I prosper, I will only create a university. I will not create anything else. If the Hindus prosper, they will only create education institutions. Because Hinduism is all about giving, contributing. If I prosper, I'll create university, that's all. Kailasa is all about university to decode the ancient sciences and share with the world. Understand? Every day I am sitting and going on decoding, writing notes on my books and writing details on my books. Whether it is making human beings manifest powers, and I have also now started downloading and decoding the science of making animals manifest powers. Whether making people manifest powers or healing, in every level, life is all about contribution, contribution, contribution.
Now that we've understood from the Supreme Pontiff himself what is the need for Kailasa, the only Hindu nation, you can go ahead and sign up to become an e-citizen of Kailasa, an e-Kailashian, by visiting kailasa.org. And you can enjoy all the benefits that Hinduism has and share it with the world. Now, we will be concluding this portion of the program and we'll be entering into the next segment, the offerings segment, where we will understand how we can offer our love and gratitude to Devi Parashakti. As all of us know, Devi has been continuously manifesting during this time to bless us, guide us, and protect us during this pralaya, during this pandemic. So if you would like to offer your love and gratitude to the Divine Cosmic Mother, manifesting through Swamiji, you are welcome to stay tuned for this next segment, where we will understand what are the available offerings that you can make to Devi. So an offering is a giving of a divine gift of pure love, devotion, and oneness. And it consists of two parts, the giving and the accepting. Only when the divine accepts when offers, the offering becomes complete. An offering is not made out of fear nor out of greed. But when an avatar lands, the offerings are purely a part of the grand Leela, played out for the only purpose of enlightenment. And the Dhyana Shloka of Devi Parashakti translates. Moonlight face, holding the Vedas in one hand, fire in eyes with lotus flower, gracing and blessing hands, and one hand with the japamala, beautifully decorated with jeweled ornaments, in wonderful clothes and shining crown. Her name is Manomani. This is from the Mulagama Manomani Dhyana, and it continues on. I meditate on Devi with three eyes glowing like a moon and holding the thing with blessing and grace in hands. She is wearing beautiful ornaments. She is worshipped by Brahma and other many gods and showers auspicious boons for all actions every day. So you'll see that many of these offerings in this segment are made in gold, and there is a great significance of gold as it is considered a divine element. And it is described in the Atharva Veda, the origins of gold. Triply born by birth is this gold. From the atoms of Agni is one. It becomes dearest to Agni. One fell away from the Soma when it was hurt. One they call the seed of virtuous and powerful Apaha. Let that triple gold be for your long life. And gold is considered a divine element in Hinduism. It purifies anything that it touches. It is an element of great spiritual significance and great spiritual power of healing and enlightenment. And the vibration of gold has a power to infuse sattva energy and positive thought currents in anyone who wears and anyone who sees or operates in its vicinity. Gold is present in all of our scriptures, including the Agamas, Vedas, Shrutis, Smritis, Itihasas, and Puranas. In all Hindu scriptures, it is abundantly displayed that gold is one of the most auspicious and purest elements, which purifies our very being. In the Hindu civilization, everything was built in gold, exchanged in gold. Ritual fees were even offered in gold bricks. When one was to be saved from life-threatening illnesses, gold was offered as a ritual fee. Gold was in abundance and used for weighing equivalent amounts of commodities, including cows. Kingdoms were even built with huge doors. Streets would have huge columns and huge archways made of gold, and horses and cows were even dressed in gold. The Hindu civilization thrived on the banks of rivers of gold. The Indus River was called the Hiranyamaya, the river of gold, in the Rig Veda, and the river Saraswati was called the Hiranyavartini in the Atharva Veda. And gold is the supreme element for offering gifts to the ones you love and revere. And temples were constructed and paved in gold. Deities are made in gold and decked and adorned in gold because it preserves the enlightened energy for thousands of years. It lasts forever. So the first offering that we have is the E-Hundi offering, the offering of a general donation. And this is just like you would do in any temple that you might visit. You will just offer a few dollars in the hundi just to offer your love and gratitude to the divine. And now Kailasa has made this very simple for you to do online now that we are all staying at home. You can offer your gratitude to Devi Parashakti, to Swamiji through the E-Hundi offering. And it's described that Devi is fond of true devotion and is realized through true devotion, and she can be won over through true devotion, and she removes all fears. If there is any fear in the minds of the devotee, Devi is sure to remove that fear. It is stated that Devi likes to be worshipped in autumn, and here it is not the autumn, the season, but rather the autumn of our lives, when our thoughts turn more and more inwards, and the role of the divine becomes much more known and clearly understood, and the need for Devi worship becomes much stronger. So you can offer your gratitude and devotion to Devi Parashakti and offer your kanika, and your name shall be chanted during the puja to Devi Parashakti. The next offering is the Sankalpa chanting, the offering of your conscious resolution. So it's stated that the goddess enchants this universe and she herself gives birth to this universe. That goddess being prayed without interest in anything gives that knowledge that leads to salvation and gives wealth in the materialistic sense. So you can offer your Sankalpa, your conscious resolution, and be blessed with the fruition of all your desires and wishes and whatever that you yearn for. The next offering that we have available is the Sahasranama Svarana Kasu, the gold coin inscribed with the various names of Devi Parashakti. And each of these names is not just a name, but rather a divine quality of Devi Parashakti, whether it's her overflowing compassion or her infinite knowledge, whichever aspect of Devi Parashakti you connect to, you can offer that inscribed on a gold coin. And this is a very special offering, and it is a unique archana that is offered to the Mahameru of Devi Parashakti. So Devi is described as Namaparayana, the one who likes the repetition of her various names. So you can offer a gold coin inscribed with each of the 1008 names of Devi Parashakti. And you can offer as many gold coins as you would like in various sizes. And you can receive the blessings to have all the Ananta Kalyana Gunas, all the divine auspicious qualities of Devi Parashakti awakened in you. Next offering is the Mukta Angruti, the finger ring with a pearl. And Devi is very well known to be adorned and very fond of pearls. And of course, the pearl represents the overflowing compassion of Devi. And in this verse, it describes, I bow to the goddess Meenakshi, whose crown has garlands of pearls and the face shining like a full moon, who wears anklets that are studded with gemstones and has small bells, who is shining like the splendor of the lotus, who grants all the wishes, the daughter of the mountain, who is worshipped by goddesses Vani and Rama. I remain ever bowing to the goddess Meenakshi, the ocean of compassion. So when you offer the Muktanguti, the finger ring with a pearl, you will be blessed to be showered by Devi Parashakti's overflowing compassion and love in all of your business endeavors. The next offering that we have is the Swarna Padma Pushpa, the golden lotus. And it's described in the Kamikagama that all the kalashas should be wound around with suitable thread and covered with a new cloth. They should be adorned with the lotus flower made of gold. There are hundreds of scriptural references for the use of the lotus in the worship of Paramashivoham. Almost everything in the worship of the ultimate involves the consecration of deities of worship with the lotus flower, the lotus leaf, the lotus berry cap, and the lotus flower. The lotus is a divine flower. The Shakti of Paramashiva is called the lotus. The base of the Paramashiva Linga is the lotus, and the disciple of Paramashiva is also considered as a lotus ready to bloom. So you can offer the golden lotus in any size that you wish and be blessed to have the state, space, and powers and being of Devi Parashakti and Paramashiva in your inner space amidst any and every adverse situation in your life. Just like the lotus blooms in the murky waters, you too shall bloom in any situation in your life. The next offering is the Swarnameti, the gold toe ring. And in this verse, it describes the power of Devi Parashakti's very toenails. It states, "You whose brightness from the toenails destroys the darkness of ignorance from the minds of your devotees, who prostrate at your feet, you whose brightness from your 2 feet overpower that of the lotus flower." So you can see from this verse, just the very toenails of Devi Parashakti have the power to destroy the ignorance in your mind. So you can offer the golden toe ring, the Swarnameti, to the feet of Devi Parashakti and receive the blessings of Devi in even the most difficult aspects of your life. The next offering is the Swarna Mantika, the gold hairline jewelry. And the Mantika represents the nectar flowing from the Sahasrara Chakra, which is fully opened. And Devi is described as Shuddha Sarabhi Varshini, the one who makes the nectar flow in all nerves from the Sahasrara, the one who gives the very pleasant experience of the ultimate. So when you offer the Swarna Mantika to Devi Parashakti, you will be blessed with the overflowing Sahasrara Chakra and the overflowing bliss from your Sahasrara Chakra. So you will be blessed to have the overflowing gratitude and the space of complete completion when you offer the Swarna Mantika to the feet of Devi Parashakti. The next offering is the Pratiksha Pada Puja, the most favorite offering of all the devotees and disciples of the Supreme Panchaprakanism, who is manifesting Devi Parashakti for each and every one of us. And in this verse, in the Shloka, in the Saundara Lahari, in Shloka 83, it states that the nails of Devi have been sharpened by constantly being touched by the crowns of the celestial beings who always prostrate before Devi. Tamo Guna is darkness. And in this stotram, tamas is indicative of ignorance in the minds of the devotees. And by constantly prostrating before Devi, their ignorance is removed and they attain knowledge. So by offering the Pratiksha Pada Puja, you will be blessed with the most auspicious and sweetest path to enlightenment to attain the ultimate knowledge from the blessings of Devi Parashakti and, of course, Swamiji himself. The next offering is the Vastra Seva, the offering of clothing to the feet of Swamiji during the Pratiksha Pada Puja. So you can offer the Vastra Seva to Swamiji and be blessed with all the auspiciousness and blessings from Swamiji himself. So here you can see the list of the various offerings, the E-Hundi offering, the Sankalpa chanting, the Devi Sahasranama Swarna Kasu, the Mukta Anguti, the Swarna Padma Pushpa, the Swarna Metti, the Swarna Mantika, the Pratiksha Puja, and the Vastra Sevam. So you can make whichever offering that you would like, and it is a very simple process. You can visit kailasamailer.com/seva. So we will be going to that website shortly and guiding you through the process of making your offering. So we can visit kailasamailer.com/savas and we can guide you through how to make your offering. You can also visit tiny.cc/babasmali to fill out your intention form if you are interested in making an offering but still need some help manifesting, or you would like some more details. You can go ahead and visit tiny.cc. You can also go ahead and visit tiny.cc/Devi offerings to make your offering. Yes, so we will be going to that website now to guide you through the process of making your offering. Yes, so if you visit tiny.cc/Devi-offerings, you will be directed to this page here. And you can go ahead and choose any option that you would like in a very simple drop-down menu under Save As. And you can choose whichever option you would like, whether if you would like to offer the Pratiksha Puja, you can go ahead and choose that offering. Or if you would like to offer the Swarna Mantika, you can choose that. And you can add how many ever you would like to your cart. If you would like to offer one for yourself and one for your sister, you can go ahead and add that to your cart. And once that is done, you will be able to view your cart and ensure all of the offerings that you would like to make are there. And then you can go ahead and proceed to the checkout. And here you can fill out your billing details just like you would for any other online payment. It's a very simple process. You can just fill out all of your details. And once that is done, you can go ahead and place your order and make your offering. So you can go ahead and place your order and you will be able to make your offering. And once this is done, you can fill out the Sankalpa form, the form with all your details. So your name can be chanted during the offering to Devi Parashakti. So it is tiny.cc/Sankalpa2021. And you can go ahead, we'll be showing you that form shortly. So very simple process. You can just fill out all of your details from your payment and your name and information. And then you can fill out your name and the name of all your loved ones. And so your name can be chanted during the offering to Devi Parashakti. So we will be shortly projecting that form. Yes, so this is what the form looks like. So you can just fill out all of the details in this form. Make sure you acknowledge. And here you can fill out your payment order number and what details of your payments and your own name and all of the rest of your details. Contact information. And you can choose whichever offering that you have made. And once that is done, you will be directed to the next page where you can fill out your name and the name of all your loved ones and all of your details. So once it's a very simple process, and once that is done, you will be set to make your offering to Devi Parashakti. So now with this, we will be concluding this portion of the program, and we'll be entering into the next segment where we will be hearing from the Adi Kailash team about all of the various activities that are going on in Adi Kailash. And we have Ma Daimai Swami here joining us today to guide us through all of the activities in Adi Kailash. Thank you so much for joining us, Ma.
Thank you, Ma. Nithyanandam. Nithyanandam, everyone. Welcome back to this segment of multi-layer quarantine facility COVID care protection centers at the Kailasa's de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa. So with the blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivan's blessings, let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramasogadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadusham Tattvamasya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. So what we learned from this segment today? Concerning statistics on mental health and global peace across the world due to COVID-19, and what are the Supreme Pontiff and Kailasa's contributions for global peace, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's spiritual solutions for COVID-19, and Kailasa's COVID care protection centers, why temple-based ecosystems, Devi Parashakti Akashic readings, UN recognizes Kailasa's contributions. The crisis that we are under. Today, people around the world are trying to grapple with the grim reality that the pandemic is far from over. The aftermath of the current calamity promises to be much more devastating. The greatest economics of the world are facing each other with the disastrous futures. Countries are facing off each other in deep mistrust. Now let us see some of the statistics and current news. Record high cases in Australia amid third wave of COVID-19. Australia reported a new record number of coronavirus cases recently when the country continues to battle the third wave of COVID-19 infections. World Health Organization makes a big statement on Delta variant of COVID-19. COVID-19 has now killed more Americans than the influenza pandemic of 1918 to 1999 did. The influenza of 1918 infected about 25% of Americans and killed an estimated 0.65% with 675,000 deaths. COVID-19 has infected more than 12% of Americans and killed about 0.2% with 676,000 deaths. Now that the US death toll from COVID-19 has surpassed 676,000, the coronavirus pandemic has killed more Americans than the 1918 to 19 influenza pandemic did. Axios and the other Associated Press both reported the grim milestone recently. COVID-19 now officially the US deadliest pandemic as the death toll crosses that of 1918 to 19 influenza. People infected with alpha variant exhales 100 times more virus into the air than the original COVID strain. Six-feet distance may not be enough to prevent viral transmission indoors. COVID-19 Delta variant is still the most concerning, says the World Health Organization experts. COVID-19 pandemic is nowhere under control in the United States, says the Chief Medical Advisor, Dr. Anthony Fauci. He said, right now we are still in pandemic mode because we have 160,000 new infections a day. That's not even modestly in good control. In an interview with Axios, the US has reported 40 million cases of COVID 19 since the outbreak of the virus, with over 4 million infections adding up in the past few weeks. The increase in COVID 19 cases comes as the US administration the vaccine, as the Delta variant has become dominant in the nation and is wreaking havoc. The surge in the Delta variant is driven by low vaccination coverage in many communities across the US, according to the US Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Mr. Fauci said, he said, in a country of our size, you can be hanging around and having 100,000 infections a day. You've got to get well below 10,000 before you start feeling comfortable, Mr. Fauci said. COVID-19 made the world less peaceful with the increase in violent incidences and fatalities after the pandemic. Younger adults are more likely to report symptoms of anxiety and or depressive disorder during the COVID-19 pandemic. The average share of adults reporting symptoms of anxiety disorder and or depressive disorder, what it was in January to June 2019 was 11%, and now in 1 month of January 2021, in just 1 month, it rose up from 11% to 41.1% in just 1 month. Some more statistics confirming the same, that the younger adults are reporting symptoms of anxiety and or depressive disorder during the COVID-19 pandemic. Stress in America, national mental health crisis. COVID-19 is a significant stressor for most Americans. Nearly 8 in 10, which is 78%, say the coronavirus pandemic is a significant source of stress in their lives. Nearly 7 in 10, which is 67%, say they have experienced increased stress over the course of the pandemic. Of the health workers who treated patients during the China's COVID-19 outbreak, 50% showed signs of depression and 45% showed signs of anxiety. Self-reported mental health among pregnant women and new mothers. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, the depression was 15%. Now, during the pandemic, it rose up to 40.7%. And now the anxiety before the pandemic was 29%. Now it rose up to 72%. Living under stay-at-home orders, 8 in 10 students are struggling with focus on health, on school, or work, and avoiding distractions. 55% of all students do not know where to go for help for their mental health. Understanding the pandemic's impact on working women. Nearly 82% of women surveyed said their lives have been negatively disrupted by the pandemic. The global economic outlook during the COVID-19 pandemic, a changed world. The pandemic is expected to plunge most countries into recession in 2020, with per capita income contracting in the largest fraction of the countries globally since 1870. International Labour Organization, COVID-19 is a threat to peace building in conflict-affected nations. COVID-19 crisis has worsened already fragile situations. The ILO is more aware than ever of its responsibility to promote peace and resilience in the time of this global pandemic. Mumbai Mayor says the third wave is here. What do September surge in COVID cases tell us? The city mayor has said that the third wave of COVID is already upon Mumbai, pointing to a sudden spike in cases. The third wave of COVID-19 is not coming, it's here, says the Kishori Padnekar. The Mumbai mayor added in an announcement regarding the matter has already been made in Nagpur. Breakthrough infections found in 25% of the health staff. A little over 25% of healthcare workers were infected with coronavirus despite getting fully vaccinated. A recent study has revealed, giving an insight on the breakthrough infections due to the Delta variant. The study, jointly conducted by the Institute of Genomics and Integrative Biology, the maximum hospitals in Delhi NCR found that the vaccination breakthroughs were far more common during the Delta outbreak in Delhi than previously reported. The new COVID-19 variant Mu shows vaccine resistance. So now that we have seen the statistics across the world, the COVID-19 affecting not only just the physical health and fatalities increasing, it is affecting the mental health of the people, especially the younger generation, and also it is concerning the global health, the global peace. How do we cope up with the current COVID-19 pandemic? It is important to address the COVID pandemic, which is seeing another wave destroying many more lives. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says fatigue is setting in as a result of continuous lockdown and in resulting in delusional ignorance. Holding on to the delusion and supporting this pace of delusional decisions leads to delusional arrogance. COVID virus pandemic has left the whole world desperately looking for answers. Life as it had been experienced even back in February 2020 is no longer recognizable. Drastic change is the order of the day, with people having to redefine their world with new paradigms of economy, society, faith, religion, and health. Blessed are those who have had the greatest fortune to be with the incarnation of Paramashiva, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, in their lives to carry them through this crisis. Join the Kailasa's COVID Care Production Centers if you are in India. Register now through the link below, https://kailasa.org/kailasa care. Sustainable developmental goals. Making peace with the nature is possible if we start now. Making peace with the nature is possible only if we start now. Even amid pandemic, 2021 can go down as the year we made peace with nature and set the planet to healing. Our environmental, social, and economic challenges are interlinked. They must be tackled together. For example, we cannot achieve the sustainable developmental goals, including ending poverty, by 2030 if climate change and ecosystem collapse are undermining food and water supplies in the world's poorest countries. We have no choice but to transform our economics and societies by valuing nature and putting its health at the heart of all our decisions. Now let's watch a small clip. World Health Organization Health and Peace Initiative. Health and peace are interrelated. In the words of the Director General of World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros, there cannot be health without peace and there cannot be peace without health. If individuals and groups enjoy equitable access to health services, fulfilling their rights to physical and mental health, and health actors design neutral health interventions that promote trust and dialogue, and communities are empowered to cope with violent conflicts, then health coverage is more universal than grievances can be heard and addressed to generate trust, and health emergency concerns. Affected communities are more likely to make meaningful contributions to peace and reconciliation and to resist incitements to violence. United States Institute of Peace. Amid COVID, we need enhanced international coordination to build peace. Tackling the pandemic and building resilience in fragile states require concerted internal action at local, national, and global levels. As the humanitarian and economic toll of the COVID-19 pandemic continues to grow, so does the risk that this crisis will fuel new conflict around the world while stemming prospects for resolving ongoing ones. Stronger health systems and universal health coverage must be a priority. Remarks to the General Assembly special session in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. For the first time since 1945, the entire world is confronted by a common threat, regardless of nationality, ethnicity, or faith. A new social contract between people, governments, and private sector, civil society, and more can tackle the roots of taxation on income and wealth, universal benefits, and opportunities for all. Now let us see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's contribution for global health, global peace, international peace and security. In relation to that, the Vedic tradition beautifully describes that Yasta sarvani bhutani atmani ivanupashyati sarva bhuteshu chatmanam tadona vivigupshate. Isha Upanishad verse 6, the global peace is the byproduct of the individual bliss. So how do we achieve this individual bliss? Whenever an individual goes through a spiritual bliss, he manifests a beautiful, peaceful life for him and everyone around him. If he is powerful enough, he moves the whole city and manifests peace. He is more powerful, he moves the whole village, the whole country. If he is powerful enough, like incarnations, he moves the whole world and manifests peace for them. The individual bliss is the source of the global peace in the level of Om, the microscope, and Om or the macroscope level. Whatever level it may be, the global peace is the byproduct of the individual peace. So now how do we achieve that individual peace? By practicing unclutching, by practicing completion. And let's listen from Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism describing how do we achieve the individual bliss by practicing completion. Let's listen from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, detailed description on this.
Their consciousness, this inner space, you become more one with everything. Today I wanted to expand on the science of completion. How the science of completion can directly impact the consciousness you are carrying and the consciousness embodied in many bodies. Please understand, the more deeper you go inside you, means more deeper space you go inside you, more expanded you become, more one with everything, more oneness you experience. Because the more deeper you go, the more you experience the unified field of consciousness. Various words are used. Some of the Hindu traditions uses the word Atma, Brahman. Some of the Hindu traditions use the word Nirvana. Whatever word you may use, Atman, Brahman, Nirvana, unified field of consciousness, whatever. But one thing I want to tell you, the deeper and deeper you go in your inner space, you experience the vast oneness. The more superficial you are, the more incompletions you carry with others, even with yourself. The more superficial you become, even your own right hand and left hand fights with each other. Different parts of you fights with you. Different thoughts of you fights with you. Even you fight with you, the more superficial you go, the more deeper you start traveling. First, you get integrated. The you fighting with you stops. Then, the people around you get integrated. They fighting with you stops. Completion with yourself, then completion with others, then comes completion with other things, not just living beings, inanimate beings. The completion starts happening. Even with the nature, completion starts happening. Please understand, the more deeper you travel, the more deeper you go, the more deeper you settle down, the more deeper you start living. Your cognition expands. Your cognition includes. Your cognition becomes more and more inclusive. More joy, more bliss, more knowledge, more enlightenment. Please understand. The more and more completion happens in you, you will see everyone around you feels complete with you. That is why I am saying, whether they have body or they are disembodied, in the deepest corners of your being, deepermost layers of your being, deepest parts of your being, you experience such powerful awareness, such joy. Going into the deepermost corners of your being not only is a